Hello everyone, and so welcome back to some more When the Night Comes. So before we start this episode, I would like to go ahead and say that we're going to finish chapter 2, no matter how long this video is. And also, please leave me a comment down below telling me who you would like me to romance for like this playthrough. And yeah, I'll just kind of go off the majority or the first one I see, depending. So let's just dive right in. So I brushed past him, a little closer than necessary, another shiver overtaking me as I feel his cool skin against my own. I head for the crime scene, hyper aware of him following close behind, knowing his gaze is burning into me. We stop at the charred patch of grass, Finn bending to pick up one of the bloodied shards, of the shattered gravestone. He brings it to his nose, glancing at me before he gives it a sniff. He crinkles his nose, apparently repulsed by whatever scent he's picked up. He hands me the stone, wiping his hands off on his trousers. I suggest you keep that. That's like nothing I've ever smelled before, and I've smelled a lot of different things in my time. Okay, Finn. I love the smile that follows that sentence. I throw him an accusatory, I can never say that, glance before I turn my attention back to what he's handed me. I put it in my pocket for safekeeping. You can't pick up anything familiar at all, so it's not the victim's blood then. He shakes his head. Definitely not his. It smells off. If it's from some creature, it's certainly not one I've come across in my 600 years. Dang. Well, here goes nothing. I do exactly as I did last time, closing my eyes, concentrating, pouring all of my energy into seeking out that lingering memory. It's just as I remember, painful, loud, and I almost can't bear it as a deep, scared voice echoes my mind. Leave while you still can. I feel a force pushing at me, but it's weak, nothing I can't handle. So I fight it and I hold my ground. It's not, oh my god, my cats are going crazy. It's not hostile, but panicked. It's trying to tell me to go, to get out, to run. That just makes me want to stay all the more. I hear Finn saying my name, but it's quiet. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. I don't know what my cats are doing. They're trying to like climb the wall right now, and it's like a little bit weird, but okay. Sorry to interrupt that moment. I hear Finn saying my name, but it's quiet, distant, almost as if I was underwater. I want to help. Tell me how. Who did this to you? No help. Just death. You can't stop them. I tried. I failed. Oh my god, what are my cats doing? Good lord. I'm so sorry. The voice disappears, and all I'm left with are more questions. Now I'm smiling too much to like read this in a serious tone. This is why I can't do voice acting ever. I open my eyes to find Finn crouched before me, eyes wide, concern etched on his handsome face. Elise, are you okay? What the fuck was that? I wasn't listening, but I couldn't block it out. He was so loud. I exhale sharply, shaking my head, taking his hand as he offers it to me to help me stand. I fall against him, and he catches me with a fluid grace, holding me steady. It was a hunter. It must have been. What did you hear? He pauses, frowning, tightening his grip on me. Nothing coherent, just noise, but it was intense. That's never happened before. What do you mean? I mean, I feel things, I hear things sometimes too, but I've never directly spoken to a spirit like that before. At least, that's what I think it was. I should go find August. He seems reluctant to let me go, a stitch in his brow as he looks at me. Are you sure you're okay? I nod, regretting it immediately as a wave of dizziness overtakes me. Whoa there, I've got you. You need to find Ezra. He can help you, trust me. He's good with weird shit like this. I contemplate heading back to see August, but I suspect they wouldn't appreciate me banging in at this hour with a little more than a ghost story. You're right. I'll head to his shop immediately. Finn nods, still watching me, holding me close lest I wobble. Head straight there. Promise me. I place my hands on his chest, aww, and Finn holds my arms as I try and steady myself. I will. Thank you, Finn. I chase his touch as we break apart, cool fingertips soothing against my skin. If you need me, don't hesitate to come. Ezra can tell you how to find me. I swallow thickly, nodding, trying to shake myself from this haze. I will. I swear it. He turns and heads for the forest, casting a final lingering glance at me over his shoulder before he disappears into the darkness. Now, I need to find Ezra, and fast. I also love that just like her and Finn have more of like a chemistry than I feel like the other characters do with her, at least so far, because like she always talks about how handsome his face is and like his lingering touch, and she just like dotes on it more than she does other characters. And I don't know if that's just like me noticing that or if that's an actual thing. But I hurried to the shop, still unsteady on my feet, mind reeling. What the hell is going on in this town? I round the corner and spot Ezra's lantern, but it's not lit. I didn't realize how late it had gotten, and I can only hope that he's home. I knock on the door and immediately hear a loud crash, followed by quick footsteps. Ooh, hello, friend. The door creaks open slowly, and a sheepish face that is definitely not Ezra's appears. Hello? I'm taken aback by the sight of the demon, his eyes wide and wondrous as he stares at me, apparently trying to figure out what to say. Are you supposed to be in there, Omen? He holds the door a little tighter, knuckles bleeding white. Yes, maybe kind of living here right now? Oh, really? He smiles shyly, his ears twitching. Ezra took me in when I had nowhere else to go. I don't stay here all the time, just when I need to. I see. Well, is Ezra here? He shakes his head, opening the door a little more. No, he went out. He said he wouldn't be long, but I don't know exactly when he'll be back. His eyes widen a little more, as if he's remembering something, mouth forming into a little O. Oh, sorry. Would you like to come in? I contemplate rushing off to continue my search for Ezra, but I would be stupid to miss a chance to find out a little bit more about this curious demon. I'd love to, but just for a moment. There's a neat little pile of cushions arranged on a rug in the middle of the shop, and a handful of empty wrappers that I can only assume were once filled with treats. Owen rushes to pick up the wrappers. Oh, that's kind of cute. Crunching them into a little ball, his tail swaying as he sticks them in a small bin hidden beneath the counter. He seems oddly at home here, so I assume he's telling the truth about staying here often. You seem very tired. Have you been busy today? I laugh quietly, rubbing my temple, my head continuing to thrum. Very busy, yes. He nods, picking up a lightly glowing blue crystal that sits atop the countertop, fiddling with it nervously. Omen, can I ask you a few questions, if that's okay with you? I suppose, yes, but I might not be able to answer much. Why is that? He flinches, grimacing. I try to stay out of things. The humans don't like me very much. Because you're a demon, right? His mouth twists into something that looks like it's trying and failing to be a smile. Yes, that. I suppose that's fair. It's not every day you see a demon like him walking down the street, even these days. He's well glamoured, but he's still quite obviously inhuman. In a town like this, one so small, I imagine he's quite an unnerving presence. Asking about the murders, let's ask him about himself. Let's just lay off the murders for a little bit. We had enough for today. I don't know much about you, Omen. Where are you from? How long have you been here? His eyes widen, pupils dilating, and I see the slightest hint of crimson flickering in chestnut brown. I've been here about 2 years. Time passes differently for me here, so it's hard to know for sure. You have to ask Ezra. He will know. I don't miss the way he so tactfully ignored my question about his origins, but I decide not to press him. Yet. How did you meet Ezra? He lights up at that question, practically bouncing on the spot. I met him the day I arrived in Lunaris. He was the first person I saw, and he took me in without question. Ezra is very kind, it would appear. He nods enthusiastically. He is quite wonderful. Everyone thinks so. Well. He fidgets, dropping his gaze to his hands, blackening fingers toying with the blue crystal again. The General, August. They don't like him very much, and that makes Ezra sad. Do you know why? He shakes his head, biting his lip. No, I didn't want to ask, but Finn says they've known each other for a very long time. Oh, good, we get to ask about both. Okay. Do you know much about the recent murders? Owen passively looks out the window, a sad look crossing his face. I know that the humans are upset, and the ones who were killed were hunters. Ezra seems far more tired, and Finn visits him less. Alcar is distant. I thought him and I would be good friends, but now I'm not so sure. He sighs, a knot in his brow. Everything is so different, and I don't like it. His eyes light up as he turns to look at me. But now you're here. So everything will be good again. Oh, that's so pure. Oh, my sunflower child. His happiness is infectious, but I can't, in good conscience, lie to him. I hope so, Omen, but it might take a little while. Right, yes, I understand that. He fidgets where he stands, gaze falling to the place where I know Ezra's living area is situated. Can I show you something? Of course you can. One moment. He dashes through the curtain that separates the front of the shop with the back, reappearing within seconds, clutching a weathered notebook. Here, I keep my notes on things I find interesting, mostly humans, but also Finn, Alcar, Ezra. He trails off, looking wistful. I thought maybe it could help you. If you need to know stuff about certain people, I might have something here. Can I borrow it? Is there anything about me? You know I'm doing the flirting options, so... You said you write about things you find interesting. That's right. Anything interesting, intriguing, fun, sometimes things I don't understand, so I can ask someone later. I smile, enamored. He's so wonderfully curious, and it's an absolute breath of fresh air. Is there anything about me in there? He stutters, holding the book a little tighter. Well, maybe. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he shyly drops his gaze. Yes, there is. My smile grows exponentially, and Omen smiles in return, the color in his cheeks almost matching his shirt. Aw, what did you write about me? His tail sways back and forth enthusiastically, curling around his leg. You're putting me on the spot. As long as it's nice, I don't mind. I offer him a wink and he laughs, to sound charming, almost a giggle. Oh, it's very nice, trust me. I sigh dramatically, watching him watch me. I have a feeling there will be more notes in his book this evening. Well, I guess I'll have to trust you if you're not going to show me. Never say never, Elise. I feel a sudden twang of pain in my temple again, the sensation unpleasant, burning. Elise, are you okay? Omen rushes to my side, the notebook forgotten on the counter. He reaches for me, but he's hesitant, and I can feel an impossible warmth radiating off his palm, but he withdraws his hand before he touches me. I'm fine, I really need to find Ezra. Do you have any idea where he could be? I don't know for sure, but he usually goes to the market, the tavern, the catacombs. The catacombs? He nods, leaning closer. Yes, that's where the vampires are. I love how he just says this like with no regard. Like, oh yeah, the vampires are just in the catacombs, no big deal. He presses his finger to his lips, a human gesture that looks out of place. Practice. I would try the tavern first, though. He did mention that he needed a drink. He likes wine after a busy day in a shop, and today was very busy. I actually just bought wine today, ironically. Thank you so much, Omen. I'd better hurry. I bid him a quick farewell and head back into the darkness. Oh, I love the tavern so much. I push my way into... Like, the music's just so much better, too. Like, at least in the tavern. Not that the music's bad anyway, but it's like the tavern's just, like, extra good. I push my way into the tavern, scanning every table for the shock of white hair, and much to my relief, I see a friendly face. Ezra. He's noticed me already, his hand raised, beckoning me over to where he sits, alone in a cozy spot in the corner. His smile is as bright and as wide as I remember, and I take a seat before him. It's good to see you, Elise. I hope the town hasn't scared you off yet. I raise an accusatory eyebrow at him, earning a laugh. Well, even if I was scared off, I can't really go anywhere, can I? Ezra smiles softly, but he seems restless. I suppose not, no. What's that like, being bound to do whatever you're told? It's lonely. I quite like it. It's probably lonely. I contemplate his question for a moment, wondering just how honest I should be. Well, it's quite lonely, especially when you're torn from your previous posts and dropped into a weird town full of strangers. And murderers, don't forget those. Ooh, he winks, a sparkle in his eyes. And murders, yes. Well, I'm sorry you have to endure that. Loneliness is a terrible thing. He sits a little straighter, determined. But you shall be lonely no more. We've got you now. We're here for you. We? He rolls his eyes playfully, a hand over his heart. You wound me. Yes, we, myself, Finnegan, oh my god, I love it. Piper, and well, maybe even August. I laugh as Ezra grimaces at the thought. Really though, you have people here. Some may be dead or just plain stubborn, but you have us. Thank you, Ezra. That means a lot. He shrugs it off, running his fingers around the rim of his wine glass. The thing is, we've all been lonely at some point. Some of us always will be lonely, even surrounded by people. Aww, my baby, no. But even if there's the smallest chance that you can quell that with a good company, then you should take it. He looks up at me, and I wonder how such a human exists. He's kind, impossibly so, and I find it very hard to believe it could ever be an act. So, you have friends here, Elise. The barmaid comes over and rolls her eyes, hand on her hip as she addresses me rather curtly. Drink? Whiskey, ale, water, I'll have what he's having. Actually, wine sounds really good, so I'm just going to have what he's having. I gesture at Ezra's half-empty wine glass, the dark liquid looking more than appealing. I'll have the same thing, please. She turns and wanders off with yet another roll of her eyes, and Ezra poorly stifles a laugh. Don't take it personally. That's Edna. She's notoriously, short. I grimace, and she returns with my glass of wine. I nod politely. Thank you, Edna. Edna grunts, turning on her heel and throwing me a dismissive wave over her shoulder. Case in point. The wine tastes rich, sweet, and I savor the first gulp like never before. Are you okay? You seem tense. Well, I was actually looking for you. I need to tell you something, but promise you won't think I'm crazy. You're talking to someone who lives in Linares. Try me. I take a deep breath and edge closer, checking no one else is listening. I visited the graveyard the day I left your shop to see the crime scene, and I tried to get a feel for what happened there that night. Ezra leans in, eyes wide. And? I didn't really get much then, other than an overwhelming sense of loss, which is quite normal considering. But tonight I went back. Finn was there too, and I felt something different. Different how, exactly? I huff a laugh, knowing how ridiculous this sounds, but in my line of work, I suppose it's normal. I heard him, Ezra, the hunter, the one who died. He spoke to me. Ezra's gaze darts around the tavern, and he sits back in his chair, running a hand through his hair. He wipes the look of shock off his face quickly, putting himself to rights. His voice is low when he speaks next, barely a whisper. You sure? It was him. I nod. Positive. He told me to leave, that there was no hope. Ezra leans forward again, pushing his wine glass aside, placing his hand upon the table, his fingers twitching. Take his hand. Ooh, obviously take his hand. What else are we going to do? I mirror his movement, placing my hand upon the table beside it, shamelessly needing contact. Ooh. Ezra doesn't hesitate to take it in his own. Oh, his skin warm and soft as he squeezes it tightly. It's going to be okay. We'll figure this out together. I exhale sharply, feeling like I've been holding my breath ever since I sat in this chair. Thank you, Ezra. I don't know what I'd do without you, and I've only known you for a few days. It's okay. I'm used to taking care of people. It's my thing, I suppose. Aww. He softens his expression, drawing gentle, soothing circles on the back of my hand with his thumb. Okay, that's one of my favorite things in life. It's like, oh, just that. Besides, you're delightful. It's not like it's a chore. His cheeks darken slightly. Oh, dusky rose against warm, freckled, dusted, russet. Oh my god, the words. And Ezra is impossibly enchanting. Oh, look at that face. I'm glad you're okay, Elise. I'm here for you, always. Do you understand? I do, and I'm more grateful than you'll ever know. Another squeeze of my hand and we part reluctantly. Aw. Oh, yes. Give me that sweet, sweet CG. Hold on, I gotta take a sip of something. So, what now? Ezra huffs a laugh, resting his chin in his hand. He looks tired, that bright emerald gaze firmly fixed upon me. He curls his fingers around the stern of his glass, sighing deeply. I don't even know how to unpack this, but I do know that you need to rest. How's your head? I sigh, pushing my wine aside. Still hurting. Ezra fishes around his pouch that's attached to his belt, retrieving a small vial full of what looks like an herb or flower. Here, crush this into some boiling water and it should help with the headache. It's just some feverfew and butterbur, completely natural, I promise. I take the vial and tuck it safely in my pocket. Do you have a pharmacy in there? He laughs softly, shaking his head. What kind of witch would I be if I didn't carry around a cure for a migraine, I should head back to the shop. I left Omen unattended with kitchen cupboard unlocked. He'll eat me out of the house and home. I did check there before I came, and he's gotten into the sweets. Shit. And that's definitely my cue to leave. Now, rest. Whatever you experience today will still happen tomorrow. I know you hunters are like. Okay. No matter how... Oh, I know what you hunters are like. Okay. No matter how much of a bossy pants August is, your report can wait till morning. I smile up at him as he stands. I promise. I'm drained and I need my bed more than ever right now. Plus, I need to decide how to put all this into words. That changed everything for me, didn't it? Yes, I'm afraid it did. Just... He sighs deeply, resting a hand upon my shoulder. Be mindful of who you share this information with, okay? There are eyes and ears everywhere. Good night, Elise. Good night, Ezra. I stare out the window and I spot the first snowflake falling from a star-dusted sky. Winter has arrived in Lunaris. Winter is coming. My headache is persistent as I lay in bed, but nothing can possibly stop me from falling asleep after the day I've had. I finish the tea that I made with the flowers Ezra gave me, hoping that it begins to take effect. I close my eyes, but just before I drift off, a distant whisper. My name was James. End of chapter 2 and end of the episode. Yes, we will pick up chapter 3 next time. And, Lunar Festival. Oh, cool. Okay, so I guess it's the Lunar Festival next episode. Yeet. Oh. Okay. Anyway, we will pick that up next time. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next one. So until then, bye. Also, please remember to comment who you want me to romance, because that picks up in chapter 3. Bye.